Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. Hope everybody's doing well. Wait, I believe everybody's doing well. I have faith that everybody's doing well, and everything is unfolding perfectly. I'm very excited again today. I'm with an amazing gentleman, Maitreya Philips. I say it right?
You said it right. You said
I said it right. I did it right this time. Maitreya Philips. Amazing guy. I'm going to tell you a bit about him before he takes it away from me. All right. Now, Maitreya Philips is a spiritual teacher, holistic doctor, thought leader. Maitreya Philips is an unregistered and non-practicing medical doctor, changing lives through the healing spirit of love consciousness. He has studied spiritual mysticism and remembrance for 5 years under the guidance of One Love Humanity. He has undergone the process of unlearning the limitations of the mind to achieve enlightenment. His focus is in raising consciousness on the planet in the areas of medicine and mental health, opening gateways in human potential. Amazing. How are you doing today, Mr. Philips?
I feel like my breath's being taken away.
Yes, it's mutual, man. I'm always so grateful to connect with people like yourself from all around the world and just get a chance to exchange thoughts, currents, and ideas and perspectives. And man, it's amazing. But
yeah,
again, how are you feeling?
I feel like most recently I've been going through some shifts in consciousness. And one of the things that I've been focusing on has been this practice of self-awareness,
Right.
Being the observer and noticing when I'm in my head, when I'm in my mind, and that chatter starts to happen, and bringing myself to being the observer, just like the divine or the universe is just present and is in a sense is observing or is in awareness of everything. And yeah, I've just been feeling a real deep sense of peace from that. I've really got no words. I'm grateful as well. Like it just feels like this journey is never ending, but I've come to this point where I'm starting to realize that I'm not just like this physical human being. There's someone inside this body that has always been,
Right. And let me elaborate on that a bit. You said, about this unfolding, this transformation and being the observer. That is an awesome place to be, and to be aware of that these thoughts, these emotions that we have aren't us. They're visitors, that I like to call them. So you can actually stand outside yourself when you're feeling a certain way and just look at those thoughts like, yes, this is the emotion of anger right now, and separate yourself instead of saying I'm angry. Oh, this is angry right now. This emotion, this angry emotion is flowing through me right now.
100%.
Instead of attaching yourself to it like this is you. You got to understand, what a lot of people need to understand is that emotions and energies and all of that, they just flow through us. They're just passing.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
Don't attach your identity to these things.
Yeah.
Even positive emotions. I mean, you can appreciate a positive emotion a bit better, but you don't even have to attach yourself to that. Just know that you are
100%.
just you are, you want to probably lean more towards the positive side, but at the same time, if you're not attached to either the positive or negative, then nothing can really bring you down, because you look at everything as I'm connected, but I'm not attached. It's like, okay, today these feelings of this is going through me right now, and then and that's it. And so that observation observing state is very, that's a good place to be from my perspective.
Yeah, yeah, and you mentioned like in describing me, like something that I've been working on is unlearning, right? And one of the things I've found is that, you know, it's just like you said, like there's a leaning towards wanting to feel more positive rather than actually just appreciating, noticing all emotions that are flowing within me. And for me, the challenge had been it was in letting go or not judging the unpleasant emotions that arise, and appreciating that also. You know, I think that for me, that's what I see in humanity. Like all of us is like, nobody likes to feel shit. Nobody likes to feel, you know, like anger or whatever it may be. But you know, the universe has no, you know, judgment towards anything. It embraces all. And it doesn't even have any, like, you know, it just sits with it. It just is with all of it, you know.
Right.
So
and
that's
we are the ones, if I may, that gives certain emotions significance and put titles and energy into it. Like you said, the universe is just okay. It's just impartial to anything. So we're the ones that say, oh man, I'm feeling this way, and we're dwelling on it and it's getting worse and I just don't fit, you know, instead of, and I'm guilty of the same thing too. I've been there too, but now I'm learning. I can say I'm learning to overcome, you know, those periods of darkness. And like you said, you take its power away when you sit there and say, I'm going to appreciate whatever emotion comes. I'm going to appreciate it. You dissipate it. It doesn't stay with you, because then it flows. And then next thing you know, you're feeling good again, you know?
Yeah, you know, like, so yeah, just like going a bit deeper into this, like, you know, how do you embrace pain or trauma? You know,
Right.
like, I sense with you, connecting with you, like you must have experienced a lot in your life. You would have seen a lot of things. I've seen a lot of things in my life too. And, you know, like when you experience those things and you take it personally, that can completely destroy you. And it takes strength to not get lost in that, to be able to accept it,
Right.
and to welcome it into your life as a part of you and your life story.
Right. You know, that's exactly what I was thinking as you were saying that, is that everything, especially if you are aware of that, we're constantly unfolding, we're constantly growing, and it's a never ending process. To know that everything that you've been through or going through is the necessary you know, path for you to get to what you need to know, and to get to where you're going. It was necessary. So I mean, it's a lot of times it is difficult to embrace that and say, well, all this, you mean all this destruction that I left, you know, in this path, or this that happened to me, that didn't have to happen. Well, yes. Otherwise, you wouldn't be who you are right now, or wouldn't be becoming who you are without those experiences. And
Yeah.
I try to look at it in a way where I'm not embracing the bad per se, but the experiences of, in the lessons that they gave me, the resilience, the strength, like you said. Because if everything is easy, you will build no character. You won't.
100%.
People think they will, but they won't. You won't be able to build these these skills, and this deep rooted appreciation, and dig deep within yourself to overcome these things. There's a magic within that. And if everything was just, you wouldn't develop any of those qualities. So that's how I'm beginning to see that, you know, and it's being revealed to me over and over in different books I read and different conversations that I have, and in my mind, in my inner voice, that, you know, certain things, even though you may not per se choose it, you are choosing it in some way, but you may not consciously be choosing it, but everything is for you. And the way I look at everything now is, no matter what, everything is unfolding for my highest good. So
100%. Yeah. You know, I believe that whatever it is, like in my life, whatever you know, and I've been like battling this myself, is like accepting certain things in my life, my family, my upbringing, you know, just certain things. And I'd be like, why was I given this? Or why was I born into this? But I ultimately, like, who I actually am, you know, I was saying how I'm not this body, like there's someone inside here. And that thing that's inside of me had chosen, you know, this experience.
Right, exactly.
And so from that perspective, it is sort of absurd to judge, or to, you know, to separate yourself from all of the experiences that I had chosen, you know, to experience. Yeah. But that's the human condition. It's, you know, and I find experiencing life on earth as like, this is the test, this is the challenge, is like, can I embrace, or, you know, like how much can I embrace everything in this world? And it's just like you said, how you grow, like you're constantly going to get challenged more and more. Like there's so many levels to keep on growing into.
Yes.
And you know what's happening in the world, you know, I this is what I feel is actually happening in the world, is, you know, the stakes are going to get higher and higher, and we gotta keep on leaning into that, you know, for evolution.
Yeah, you can even look at it, to me, it has been brought to my attention, and now I look at it, you know, because I like to garden and grow things. Well, when you look at the seed, right, it doesn't grow. Nothing comes out of it until it's been buried in the dirt, covered, you know, in dirt. And then something beautiful sprouts out of that. So that's like a similarity to, you know, to life, until we're sort of buried in things, in challenges, and different circumstances and adversities.
Right. Yes,
we don't grow. Something beautiful grows out of that.
Yeah,
You know, we
100%,
just have to be aware.
Yeah.
And it is true, a simple fact. It'll either make you or break you. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And it is those things.
God doesn't give you what you can't handle.
Can't handle. So even if it feels like it, there's a reason. And, you know, oftentimes a lot of things that happen, you know, I can't say for everything and speak as to why things work out certain ways, but oftentimes I saw in my perspectives that I brought a lot of things onto myself because of my thinking and my actions and my mindset and my consciousness, not knowing.
It's always ourselves. Right. We're always creating everything.
Right. And whether we can see the beginning of how we started that creation or not, it usually is. It is. It's always us. It's what we're reflecting is reflecting back to us, is what we're projecting in some kind of way. And the more I dive deep into that, I can see it. So the thoughts that you're creating right now, the feelings that you're creating right now, the mindset that you're having right now is what's going to create your tomorrow. So, you know,
100%.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. So let's get into so how did you get into this whole thing that you're doing with helping people in medicine and transformation and all that? What inspired you to go that way, or to start doing that?
Yeah.
You
So
always know you
that's
wanted to. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
so this is a crazy story, although it's not that crazy, but um I got into medicine for the wrong reasons.
Right.
Like my background is Sri Lankan, and my culture places like academic success as respectable, honorable.
Right.
So I did that for all of those reasons, and also to do whatever my family asked of me to do. I would just do it. And then I went to Hungary and I studied 6 years of medicine. And once I had completed my degree, I realized that maybe this wasn't exactly what I thought it would be. Like, it was my dream. And then once I got it, it was like, actually, I just did this because I wanted to be called a doctor.
Right.
Like, straight up.
Yeah. No, that's at least you're honest. Thank you
Yeah.
for being transparent and
Yeah.
being honest with us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. So I came back to Australia, and my family went through this massive crisis. They got scammed by a criminal, white collar crime in Australia.
Right.
And my dad became really suicidal.
Oh,
And then, yeah. And so that made me question a lot of things, like, you know, what was my purpose in life? What did I actually want? Whether I was, how do I manage the situation? Like, even trying to grasp like what all of that is like. I just felt lost in this like emotional whirlwind, and that's when I sought help. And my way of seeking help was to go higher up,
right.
connect to spirit.
Right.
And I didn't know what that was. I was skeptical as well. But I came across a mentor who, I would say, activated me, woke me up. And that was 6 years ago. And I've been um, I've been growing with them, which is the organization One Love Humanity, and really what it is remembering who I actually am, which is that I am a soul that that decided to be born here at this time, had been here many times before, hundreds of times at least. I've been here since really the beginnings of the earth, when humanity had lost its remembrance that we are divine. And I've come back here again to support humanity to come back to that remembrance. And what I've found is that this whole being someone who then dedicates themselves to, I call myself a spiritual teacher, but even that in itself has its own illusions or ego in that.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I'm awake. I'm going to go out to the world and profess, what I know. And then I realized, actually, like, the work is actually all here, like what's at home, what's present with my family and my relationships, that's, and that's really like, that's what I found is, like, when I've made peace with everything in my life and my life circumstances, I've brought that all in, and I embrace it. That's when I'm free, and that's when the universe then throws me a bone, and the universe like starts to show me more about the things that I want to know, you know. And
Right.
really what I want to know is, what am I doing here? Like, why?
Yes.
Who am I? What am I doing here? And this is what I'm finding. It's like a it's a gateway. It's like within into myself. Uh, you know, there's so many mysteries about this earth. You know, there's so many unanswered questions about humanity. What I've found, myself included, is I need to be a doctor. I need to get from A to B. I need to have my home. I need to have all of these amazing things in my life. And then I want to reach this pinnacle. And then I don't know, I'll figure it out after that, you know.
Right.
But, you know, there's more to it actually, you know, like we're not, you know, we didn't just show up here, like we did, but you know, that for the viewers out there, like ask yourself, like, you know, is it possible that you were here before you were even born into this world? Had you been here before? Where do you think you go after you die? Do you think you just cease to exist? And my answer to that, what I've discovered, is no. You know, this is just an experience, and we've chosen to have this experience right now for whatever reason, call it growth. And this whole planet and everything that's happening on this planet is happening for a reason too. And we've chosen to have this experience. Also, when you have this perspective too, it frees you from feeling trapped from the things that are happening on the planet, because it's all here for a reason. It's all a lesson. You know, you don't grow without the challenges.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. You grow
So
from resistance. Even when you're working out, you're applying some type of resistance against your body, against your muscles, to cause growth. Like
right,
when you're lifting weights, you're causing resistance. You're growing because
100%.
something is resisting, not
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
it's easy. If you're just doing this with air, you're not going to grow.
100%.
When you fly a kite, you fly it against the wind, and that's how it propels higher, because of the
Right.
wind that's resisting it. It's
Yeah.
going up. If there was no
Yeah.
wind for it to hit up against, it would not even fly. You know, it would stay
Yeah.
on the ground. So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
significance in, you know, challenges, like you said, in adversities that, you know, that build character. There's even been studies done with children that have been born into families where everything was given to them, and some where they had nothing but struggle. And then later on in life, the one with the struggle was able to navigate and do things a lot better than the
Yeah.
one that was given. The one that was given everything
Absolutely.
was still
Yeah.
dependent in the
Yeah.
mind,
Mm-hmm.
dependent on things to show up all the time to assist him. The other one
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
resourceful, made things happen himself,
Yeah.
you know? So yes, there is a significance in that you say, and that's beautiful. And I think it's also really amazing, you know, that you're even aware about like titles and stuff, that there's ego involved in that. And you said something, and you mentioned, you know, a process where, you know, most people say we got to have this and we got to have that, and a lot of those desires don't even come from ourselves. I mean, they do, but they're influenced by what we see,
Right. Yeah.
by
Yeah.
other people around us, by the television, by other, you know. Otherwise, if you were just on an isolated island and born, right, and you had no influence from anyone, you wouldn't have those same desires. You wouldn't have those desires if you
So
were born
true.
in some jungle somewhere. The only
Yeah.
desire you would have is the desire of your tribe to go
Yeah. Yeah.
get some fish that day, or some meat,
Mm-hmm.
or to
Yeah.
repair your house, you know, with straw or bamboo. That would be your desires. You wouldn't think about, I want a Lamborghini, or I want, this. I want to live in an
Yeah.
apartment in the building. You wouldn't even know. That wouldn't even be part of your
100%.
consciousness. So
Yeah.
I'm not discrediting anything, and I'm not saying that desires are wrong, because we're here, I believe, also
Absolutely. Yeah.
to live an abundant life. And whatever your
Of course.
idea of an
Yeah.
abundant life is, why shouldn't you have it? Just because
Right.
it's not the
Yeah.
same as someone else's doesn't mean you shouldn't have it. So if an abundant life in all aspects requires, you want this nice car to travel here and there, then so be
Yeah.
it. Then so be it.
Yeah. I totally agree with you there, man. And that's the thing. Like, there are so many people that I've come across, really wealthy people, but perhaps they did it for the wrong reasons. Like I studied medicine. I did it for the wrong reasons. I wasn't going to be happy doing it. Now I'm actually quite happy. Like, I utilize medicine for my own purposes, to share my perspective in the world through medicine. And I use my credentials to use that. I've also, I'd love to, have a truckload of abundance, manifest maybe not a Lamborghini. I'm looking more at, getting a Porsche or something like that. But,
Yes,
like
that's what you
we're
want.
creators, we're the universe. We can manifest, create anything that we want. Why can't we have it? But I think the trick is to have all of those things and yet not be attached to it.
Right.
Like there's a spiritual teacher, Osho.
Osho, yeah.
Yeah. He created a pretty big influence in America until he was kicked out. But I remember he had about, I think he had 20 Rolls Royces. There's
Right.
no reason why he needs 20 Rolls Royces, but
Right.
it's just to prove. I guess it's just the fallacy or the joke, the cosmic joke. It's like,
Just to show he can get it.
yeah, because one thing I've found is, when you generate wealth, or you create something, or you buy something, or you own something, like in that moment it feels great, right? It's like, yeah, mate. But then the novelty sort of wears off after some time, because all it is, a Lamborghini, right? Yes, it's high performance, and it would feel great, like driving on the road. And I haven't driven a Lamborghini, so I can't speak on it, but I can imagine that the experience of it would be amazing. But imagine driving that every day for the rest of my life. Will the joy of that experience last forever? And the nature of this world is that no, it doesn't, because even the body itself is going to disintegrate.
Right.
It's not going to last forever. The point is to enjoy the experience. And I've found also that to enjoy the experience is to not get totally attached to something either. It's just have everything in moderation, perhaps.
Right. And probably not let those objects be your main goal. I think your main goal should be, in my perspective, should be growth, should be, like you said, growth, expanding your consciousness, helping yourself, helping other people. And through that, abundance, I feel, will come to you. But if your main focus is just always just only abundance, thinking that that's going to sustain your happiness, I've seen it time and time again, and read stories time and time again. It doesn't. If there's no substance, that's why a lot of even the wealthiest people you see, they get to a point where, not all, but some I've seen, they get to a point where they're giving a lot of their money away, because they're trying to fulfill, something that wasn't fulfilled by just obtaining. So they want to give and enhance other people's lives. And then they find a more of a joy in that. And then they see that more abundance comes to them from doing that. So,
and this is the thing that I found is, when you have something because I'm the classic example of someone who was seeking materialistic things to
Right.
give me joy, right? And you know, like whatever it was that I wanted to get, like it's great, but then if you have no one to share it with, um it doesn't mean anything really. Like it's actually connection. um that's actually what brings you joy. And so I'm finding that, you know, especially now, like in most recent times, I'm finding a lot of, you know, billionaires, highly influential entrepreneurs. Um, you know, perhaps they spent all of their life trying to establish their careers and earn all of this money, but it's a lonely place too, you know. And if you got no one to share it with, I mean, that's where the fun is, you know, having company to enjoy the novelties in life.
Right.
You know, like it's the world is our playground. You
Right.
know, we I think that's the thing we all miss. Um, and perhaps that's where we're all heading. Like perhaps that's where humanity needs to head, is like to real. I think that's what actually is happening. Like even with the pandemic, like people are starting to realize actually connection is what I want. It's not actually the carrot stick.
Right. Right. Connection is what really um, sustains that inner peace and that happiness. The, you know, yeah, the material excess doesn't sustain it. I mean, yeah, it can enhance things, but at the same time, that alone is not going to do it. You have to have some type of, you know, spiritual inner peace with even with yourself, and like you say, connection with other people. Like I said, being a humanitarian. So if you amass all this wealth, you know, you'll be happy and you'll find it putting smiles on other people's faces by helping them, by creating these grants and donating here and there and helping and personally getting with people, sponsoring, whatever. That's going to enhance your happiness a lot more. What you can do with that wealth, for other people, really. I mean, yourself as well, but just yourself, that will wear off, like you said. After a while, it will.
Yeah, yeah,
And you'll
yeah,
just
man. Yeah,
get to a point where if you're trying to sustain it through material things, what'll happen is you'll acquire these material things, and then you'll get bored with the level that you're on, and you'll
yeah.
you'll
There's
look for more.
always you always yeah.
Yeah, you'll look for
It's
more.
actually
Okay,
it's
now I got 10 houses now. Now
yeah.
I
It's
want to buy
never
some.
enough,
I
man.
want some.
It's
I want
never
some skyscrapers now. I want some buildings.
exactly,
Then I'll be
exactly.
happy. If I have
Yeah,
these buildings, I'll be happy.
yeah.
Okay, you got the
No, that
buildings.
wasn't it. Once you got that, that's not
Yeah,
it.
that wasn't it. Okay, now I need to buy an island. If I buy an island, I'll be happy. Okay, that
Yeah,
wasn't it.
yeah.
I need to buy a whole country and control it. Then I'll be
Right.
happy. It's like
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
It's
that's good.
actually it's torture, man. It's
Yeah.
actually torture. Um, yeah. Um, the real blessed people are those that, and it comes back to the struggle, you know, that you mentioned, is like, for me, the really blessed people are the ones who are actually struggling through life, because that brings you closer to the truth.
Right.
You know, that the gold really is actually in here,
Yes.
inside ourselves. It's not anywhere outside, or any achievement, or any materialistic thing, or anything you want to get. Um, everything is all here, and even to get those things is to go here first.
Right. Right. That's amazing. I appreciate you sharing those perspectives, man. And it seems like that you are really on that journey, and I just encourage you to keep going. And you're just gonna your consciousness is going to continue to expand. You're going to continue to find different truths to yourself and what resonates with you, and be able to pour out through that, to other people. And I just see it. And also, I'm going to let some people in on a little something. I don't know if you want to put it out there yet, but you're gonna start creating some music here shortly, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Hopefully I
just
can be of service in some kind of way. But what do you got going on with that?
yeah, yeah. So I had just produced, actually my music producer is finalizing it. But my first track, You Are My Earth, and the intention behind my music is to bring the perspective of the divine,
Right.
give people a sense, a connection to that in listening to that music. So yeah, I'll be personally, I'll be sharing that with you,
Can't wait to hear it.
and then yeah, yeah.
I want to hear I want to hear what you're doing, man. I really do. I mean, because I see you have so much passion, you know, um, within yourself. I can see it. I can feel the energy. You have so much passion and so much insight, and so much you're still inquiring and trying to learn. And it's just, it's beautiful. And someone as passionate as you always want to listen and hear what they have to say, and, you know, whether you agree with everything that's said, but you're always, if you listen enough, you're going to learn something. And, you being your authentic self, and not being afraid to be transparent and vulnerable, and showing that, hey, I've been guilty of this and that. People connect to that, including myself, so
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. So I can just imagine the words that you would put into, the lyrics that you would put into a song, um, would be somewhere along those lines. So
Yeah,
I definitely want to hear that.
this is actually, all my life I've been trying to find what is it, that thing that sparks me, right? And I'm finding that is actually creating music. That's what lights me up.
Right.
This is one of the things, but there's something about it. Like, it's music is powerful.
It is powerful energy.
Music is, yeah, yeah, yeah. You could literally open portals with music.
Right.
Uh,
Rewire
so
brains with
yeah,
music. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Feelings,
and
everything.
not yeah, and not only that, but like, because I feel like this is part of your mission as well. Um, it's the what the kind of music that's the messages that, or the vibration, the frequency that's being expressed through music at the moment, and
Right.
changing that. It's a powerful
Right.
tool
Right.
for humanity. Yeah,
Yes, exactly. It's even historically, music has brought people together, has blurred color lines and everything. I mean, when you go to concerts, it doesn't matter. It can be this color person singing, and you look out in the audience, it's all different colors, or a different, whatever.
absolutely, man.
Music
Yeah,
is a universal language, and it's just
yes,
beautiful. It has historically, overcome so much adversity, and encourage diversity. So beautiful, you know. I can listen to music from different cultures and just hear something that resonates with me. You know, that's why I like to be exposed, to different music, like especially something I haven't heard before. Let me hear that. Like, wow. Because you never know what type of emotions or thought that it's going to inspire within you, you know,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
especially if the intention behind the music is to enhance your life in some kind of way, you know, coming through somebody that's really being genuine and coming from the heart, that's very powerful.
yeah.
Words and music frequencies and all that, that's just some powerful energy right there. So you got that
Well,
right. That's amazing.
yeah, and this is another insight I'd like to share is, like, there's one biblical character that was famously known um, for his music, although he's not credited for that entirely. Like, he's known for being a giant slayer and things like that. But this individual, his name was King David.
King
He's like
David, yes.
he's the central figure of Judaism, and you know, he's quite a big figure in the Bible.
Right.
And he was known for, like, before he became a king, he was someone who, you know, he'd bring his harp and he'd start playing music. And, you know, like, people that study the Bible, people that read it, you know, you take it on face value, and you're like, yeah, that's a cool story. But actually, back in those days, there was like ancient wisdom in the things that they were doing. You know, so
Right.
David was someone. He was a god. He was a god that was, you know, in human form. Like, he's like a demigod, and he would weave music and change frequency, or change the vibration.
Right.
So that's, you know, that's where I think a lot of us, you know, like, there's a few of us that are standing up in leadership to taking control of the direction of the planet, you know, and people who have this gift of music have a great power. There's so many things that we can do.
Exactly. Yes, and the more you look into it, you see, even our artists and musicians now, you see how impactful they are. They're impactful. They're more impactful than like the top leaders. The artists are. People want to be more like the
Absolutely.
artists and look into their lives more than they want to look into the government or the president or the dictator or whatever. They want to know about these artists. You know,
Yeah.
they follow them. You know, so yeah, it's powerful. It all throughout history. It's been proven, shown. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's amazing. So what I want to ask you is, how can people find you? How can we find you if we want to connect with you or see what you got going on? You have a website, anything, social media, anything that people can locate you on.
Yeah, bro. Thank you. So you could track my stuff on theworldrevolution.com. That's my main website. My
Worldrevolution.com.
theworldrevolution.com.
Revolution.com. Okay.
Yeah. You can find me on Facebook, Maitreya Philips, Instagram, Maitreya Philips. I'm also on Clubhouse, Twitter, The World Avatar. And I think that covers all of it. Oh, and my YouTube channels as well, The World Revolution. Luke Bryan Smith is going to be on my podcast tomorrow, the World Revolution podcast. So
Yes,
check that
absolutely.
out.
Would miss it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Exactly.
yeah, there's a whole heap of stuff you can dive into there, but that's a little bit about
Oh
how
yes,
you
I
could
can
find
already
me.
see that our energies are connecting. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and we're gonna expand and put our thoughts and energies together and create, different, just some amazing things. Nothing, there nothing but the best is coming, forth from our interaction, and I can already see. So beautiful.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, you know, I find it fascinating that, you know, each of us are born into circumstances. We go through things in life, and even that makes who we are. But when I see a person, who I'm actually looking at is, well, you know, like, this soul has been put into this situation and has come out of it, has mastered that part of life. And, you know, on a soul level, that's like, we're connecting for a reason.
Right.
In a way, it's almost like we're meant to connect. Um, so yeah, I'm deeply grateful to you, not just for who you are as a persona, but who you are, like, innately, like your spirit.
Right.
I deeply honor you in that. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, just grateful, bro. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I appreciate having you on here today and look forward to being on your podcast tomorrow. Are there any concluding words, ideas, anything that you would like to say before we conclude this segment?
I think, you know, the more that there are platforms like this that spread positivity, is creating change. So, yeah, thank you for tuning in and for having me as a guest, and thank you for watching this podcast, and for choosing this man here to be your guide, because he's doing a lot of great stuff too. And you know, yeah, I would recommend also that you follow him, you know, because these are the leaders that are going to change the world, not the politicians, not the people who are setting the laws. I'll be quite outspoken about that, but you know, people like yourself are the real leaders,
Right.
often unseen too, you know, but you guys are the real ones.
Yes, that spark, that spark of change, and the light bringers. And I myself, you know, I consider myself as much as a follower, as a leader, as much as a student, as a teacher as well. And I want to help and inspire and create, you know, other leaders and other, you know, people to do exactly what I'm doing and even more. You know, I don't think that I have the makeup to feel like I'm at a place where I'm above anybody and everybody should look at me. You know, however, I do appreciate, you know, and you know, expanding and having more audience. But if anything, from people watching me is to encourage them to expand and reach within themselves, and just be abundant in all aspects of their lives as well. So
Love that.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And
Thank you, my man. Thank
I
you,
will
guys.
see you tomorrow. And everybody, thank you for watching Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. Peace and love to everyone. Appreciation. Thank you.
Peace and love. Thank you.
See you soon.